Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
It's a misty Memorial Day weekend in Milwaukee, but it's been anything but inside Miller Park, which has turned into the house of magic for the Brewers this season as the Crew even the series against the defending World Series champion Giants in dramatic fashion yesterday as they will wrap up the series today. Let's take a look back at yesterday's win for the Crew. Carlos Gomez got things going with a first inning inside the park home run as he would touch all four as Cody Ross had all kinds of trouble down in that right field line to give the Crew an early lead. Can't forget about the work Randy Wolf put in with 7 1/3 solid innings of pitching, punching out 5 Giants. But everything came down to a 9th inning squeeze bunt from Jonathan Lucroy in a 2-2 ball game. Ron Renicky rolled the dice and came out on top as the Crew will look to win the series over the defending World Series champion San Francisco Giants. Matt Cain will be on the mound for the Giants, and Yovani Gallardo will go for the Crew as they will look to end this very impressive homestand with an 8-1 record. Welcome back to Brewers Baseball. I'm Telly Hughes. What a homestand it's been for the Brew Crew, and what better way to end it than having Yovani Gallardo on the mound for the Crew, as it's been a great homestand and an even better home portion of the season. The Crew have more home wins than any team in baseball. They have a 285 average, and they're almost averaging 6 runs a ball game, 40 home runs, and a team ERA of 3.89. They've been getting good pitching, and Yovani Gallardo has been a big part of that, as Yo is on the Miller Park mound where he's unbeaten in his last 8 starts. We'll see if he can keep it going next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hot Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Warm welcome back to Milwaukee. It's the Giants and Brewers, the rubber match of this three-game series as we welcome you back inside to Miller Park, where Yovani Gallardo in his career against the Giants is trying to improve to 5-2. He had a win in San Francisco last fall. And Matt Cain is going to go up against the Brewers, trying to even his record overall against the Crew at 3-3. He has not faced Milwaukee since the 2009 season. Hi, everybody. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Craig Kashan, getting you set for Game 3. The Brewers have a chance to grab another series here at home, trying for their 5th straight at Miller Park. Yovani Gallardo out on the hill, and he's had a lot to do with series win. He has won 4 games in a row, looking mighty fine right now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he picked up his tempo just a little bit. I mean, quickened his delivery between when he started his delivery and when he got rid of the baseball. I think that's helped him quite a bit. He's been more aggressive early in the count with a fastball, making his curveball his strikeout pitch, just like it was last year. He's only given up 5 runs in his last 4 starts, 16 hits is all. So Gallardo pitching like the ace that the Brewers expect him to be all season.
And he'll try to win his 5th consecutive start today. And the Brewers try to go out in style, going for another series win. And how about this number, an 8-1 homestand? Well, first pitch, lineups, and maybe a Brewer victory all on the other side when we come back on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Yovani Gallardo ready to take the hill for the Brewers in this current homestand. I don't know if the numbers could get better. The Brewers have won 7 of 8 so far. They have scored runs for their pitchers, and their pitchers have held their opponents in check. Yo trying for a second win on this current homestand. And let's take a look at the Giants Piggly Wiggly batting order. Andres Torres will lead off today. Emmanuel Burris over at third. Freddie Sanchez, the second baseman. Huff, Schierholtz, Brandon Bell to make a start at left. Brandon Crawford back at shortstop. Chris Stewart behind the plate for Matt Cain. And Giovanni Gallardo ready for start number 12 on the season against Andres Torres. First pitch here on this Sunday, misses for a ball.
Yeah, Yo really on a roll right now. He's won 4 in a row, and in that stretch he's only allowed 5 runs. Walks down, strikeouts up. Gallardo throwing well.
And you saw the umpiring crew headed by Mike Winters behind the plate. Adrian Johnson, new on the crew, just came in last night, and he replaces Mark Wegner, who blew out his calf muscle in that 8th inning of yesterday's game when he was calling balls and strikes. So a rare umpiring injury, but the Blue have it covered.
Always have to be on their toes. An unfortunate injury, but you know, they finished the game with a 3-man crew. Did a fine job of it. The injuries happen to everybody, even the umpires.
It looked pretty painful, and he was hobbling off yesterday into the Brewers training room. Torres lifts a fly ball left field. Braun going back, and he makes the catch. Take a look at that Brewers Blaine's defense this afternoon. The outfield along with Braun, Niger Morgan in center, and Mark Kotze to start again in right. McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder across the infield, and Jonathan LaCroix, yesterday's hero, catching Giovanni Gallardo. As you look at Kotze in right and Morgan in center field. Corey Hart still feeling under the weather, missing his 2nd straight game.
Yeah, Corey in bad shape yesterday, had the flu-like symptoms, some stomach issues, and he's going to be all right, just needs another day. He's probably available to come off the bench.
So one down for Emmanuel Burris, who moves over from short to third today. Only has played 11 games, .310 his batting average heading into this Sunday game against Milwaukee. There's a strike from Yo to even the count.
Well, Bruce Bochy's lineup, heavy concentration of left-handed bats, 6 in all, including 2 switch hitters at the top of the order.
Going all out, trying to win the series here in Milwaukee. Right back at Yo. Makes a nice stop, and the toss to Fielder. Our Nissan Keys today, Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach on Giovanni Gallardo.
Well, I expect him to do the same. You know, I mean, he's in a nice rhythm. He's throwing all his pitches for strikes, and what I liked is his last game is he had his curveball going, which, you know, for me, this is really his first game that he's really thrown it as well as he threw it. So I'm hoping that I'm confident that he's going to go out there and do the same.
He's been establishing that fastball very well in this stretch of 4 consecutive starts where he's been able to pick up wins. He's actually been throwing 2 different curveballs, a curveball to get me over early in the count and the power curveball for the strikeout.
And a base hit up the middle for Freddie Sanchez. And that's number 1,000 now in his career. So Freddie Sanchez, the 2006 batting champion in the National League, still strutting his stuff.
Guy can hit. Freddie Sanchez always makes contact. Not your typical number 3 hitter. Has virtually no power, but good contact hitter, a good on-base percentage type hitter. And Bruce Bochy, with all these lefties in the lineup, electing to have his second baseman and number 3 hitter today.
Career hit number 1,000 for Sanchez. That brings up Aubrey Huff in the cleanup spot, the first baseman. 223, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs. He'll likely fill those cleanup duties, as Buster Posey, of course, injured a few days ago, likely out for the rest of the season. 3 for 7 in the series, including a double. Got on base a couple of times in yesterday's game, too.
There's that good cut fastball that Gallardo has been throwing very well lately. Cutter, slider, call it what you want. The ball going down as it gets to home plate. Good pitch.
Inside ball 2. Many of these giant hitters have not had a lot of success against Giovanni Gallardo. As you see Tim Lincecum with the hood on over in the Giants dugout. Aubrey Huff, though, against the Brewers, pretty nice numbers. Ground ball to Weeks, and that takes care of the Giants here in the opening frame for Giovanni Gallardo. Miller Park on this Sunday afternoon as the Brewers go to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Ron Renneke pulling off the squeeze bunt call to win yesterday's game in the bottom of the ninth. His Piggly Wiggly batting order looks like this. Weeks the top of the order. Niger Morgan bats second. Braun, Fielder, McGee, Marcotte sixth. Jonathan Lucroy in the seventh hole. Betancourt batting eighth ahead of Giovanni Gallardo here this afternoon. And Matt Cain out on the hill, start number 11.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency. His numbers on the road and at home almost identical. Off to a very good start. Run support an issue like it is for most of the starters for the Giants. Cain 3-3. He's 2-3 career against the Brewers in 5 starts.
And he faces Ricky Weeks to lead off here in the bottom of the first. First pitch in for a strike on Ricky Weeks. Ricky Weeks in yesterday's game took the collar, including a couple of strikeouts. Fly ball right center field. Torres coming in, can't make the play. And Weeks leads off with the single, so a good start here for the Brewers in the bottom of the first inning. And let's take a look at the rest of that defense out there. Brandon Belt makes his first start in the outfield for the Giants. Torres and Schierholtz. Burris, Crawford, Sanchez, and Huff across that infield. Chris Stewart catches Matt Cain here this afternoon.
The two guys getting their first start of the series. Belt out and left. And Chris Stewart behind home plate. Has been Eli Whiteside that's been catching most of the time since the injury to Buster Posey.
Morgan goes to bunt, and fortunate that ball gets fouled off the other way. Stewart broke to his left and it fouled off to his right. Niger Morgan played right field yesterday and batted 8th. Was 0 for 3. He was in the on-deck circle in the 9th inning when Jonathan Lucroy laid down that suicide squeeze to score Ryan Braun.
Did it on a good count. Bases loaded, 1 out, a 1-0 count. That's a tough pitch to pitch out on. I mean, if they don't, Brewers don't squeeze there, it's 2-0, the bases loaded. And the winning run on third base. Executed to perfection.
So Ryan Braun waits on deck. Brewers managed only 2 hits in yesterday's game through 8 innings, and Braun and Fielder got on base with base hits to start that rally. Very interesting Saturday win for Milwaukee. Morgan tries to lay another bunt down. It's a ball and 2 strikes to the Brewers center fielder.
Yep, not much offense for the Brewers yesterday, but Randy Wolf outstanding. Had to be taken out in the 8th inning. Ended up with 2 runs on his line, but he was very, very good. So was Jonathan Sanchez, for that matter, the Giants starter.
Hits were hard to come by against the 2 starting pitchers. both went 7+ in yesterday's game. Morgan takes the ball 2-2.
And that's the thing. The Brewers have been winning in a lot of different ways on this homestand. This stretch of 19 games where they've been home for 15 of them. This is the 15th of that 19th game stretch. And they have been tremendous in just about every aspect of their game. Their defense has been good, starting pitching, bullpen. And they've been able to score just enough runs. They're 14-4 in that stretch. Can't get much better than that.
Really is unbelievable. All very good games. In fact, really the only game that was lopsided was the last one that Yovani Gallardo pitched, which was an 11-3 Brewer victory over the Nationals. Brewers have played them tight all year long.
Yeah.
Full count now to Nyjer Morgan. Braun waits on deck. Another foul back as Ricky Weeks was on the move. Well, given an opportunity in yesterday's game, the Brewers were pretty aggressive. Ryan Braun was able to steal a base, able to force an error. Gomez had an inside the park home run. And then the squeeze at the end. Morgan to left. That'll fall in for a base hit. Ricky Weeks stumbled going to third, but gets in there. And now the Brewers have something going here in the opening frame. Runners in the corners with nobody out.
Boy, I love Nyjer Morgan when he's in that lineup. He makes things happen. He's going to make contact, not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And a 3-2 count. Once again, the Brewers very aggressive, running on the 3-2 pitch. And Morgan able to dump it into left. He wasn't sure Ricky was going to continue, but he did, and he's able to get into third base.
So Ricky Weeks stumbled across, and Ricky Weeks safe at third, safe and secure. New York life. Now Ryan Braun. Ideal situation here for the Brewers in their first at bats against the Giants. Ryan Braun among the leaders in the National League in just about every offensive category, batting .311, 12 home runs, 37 RBIs on the season. This series is 2 for 4, a couple of stolen bases, has scored 3 runs, and he walked 3 times in yesterday's game.
Yep, 1 for 1 and scored the winning run on that suicide squeeze. Seems as though left-handed pitching has really not been too willing to throw strikes to Brawny lately. Sanchez walked him 3 times, a left-hander. A little bit different with a right-hander out there. With Matt Cain, you got to deal with Prince Fielder, so you figure Brawny to get something to hit today.
That's amazing. He's drawn 31 walks already this season, and that, of course, helps Prince get his 41 RBIs to lead the league. Braun tied for first in runs scored in the National League as well. There's your RBI leaders. Braun and Fielder in that top 5, and tied for the major league lead in RBI duos. Ball and 2 strikes. Pop foul, and we'll get into the seats. So Braun stays alive. Let's take a look at our Powerball home run leaderboard. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder pacing a pretty good race between Ricky Weeks and Fielder and Braun right now. Ricky Weeks hit his 9th.
That Brewers 3rd in the National League in team homers with 56. The Florida Marlins, they've got 43 home runs this year. They're going to see the Florida Marlins, and Cincinnati leads the league with home runs.
Not much of a shock there, huh?
Yeah, Brewers go there tomorrow.
Cain taking a look at both runners. San Francisco well aware of the Brewers' aggressiveness this season. They've seen it firsthand, of course, in the first 2 games of this series. Braun It's cut off at short by Crawford. A run will score. Everybody's safe. The Brewers have the early lead.
Well, that's what they've been able to do on this homestand. It hasn't been very often they've had to play from behind. They've been able to do that. They played from behind a couple of times against the Nationals. That's that Matt Cain curveball at 77 miles an hour. Braun able to go down and get it. And Crawford not able to make a play. Brawny making very good contact this year. Almost as many walks as strikeouts. Same for Prince Fielder.
Pablo Sandoval, Mark DeRosa, Mike Fontenot, all injured infielders with San Francisco, so they're trying to patch it and make it work. Prince Fielder steps in now with 2 aboard. Still nobody out here in the first.
And Matt Cain not throwing all that hard today. 91, 92 miles an hour with the 4-seamer. He's got a cutter and a curveball. He'll from time to time throw a left-handed batter a changeup.
Burris in foul territory retires Prince Fielder. So Ryan Braun adding to the RBI duo list for Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun as they team together now. Among the league leaders ahead of Gonzalez and Youkilis right now. Boston came in top.
The dynamic duo. They've been something else.
Numbers rapidly grow, don't they? At 79 now.
Yeah, they've been terrific together. Since Ryan Braun got called up, those two have been big-time run producers.
Casey McGee. Good opportunity for him to plate another Brewer run with 1 down. Cain spins around and eyeballs Morgan back to second base. Casey with a couple of hits in his career against Cain. There's a strike to Casey McGee. Casey had a sacrifice fly for an RBI in yesterday's ball game. And the throwback. Morgan back safely.
Yeah, both of these offenses have struggled against the respective pitchers in the game today. Matt Cain has had success against the Brewers starting lineup. Nyjer Morgan with 4 base hits and 9 trips, including that base hit. And Casey McGee's had a limited amount of success. Not a whole lot of at-bats to really take a close look at. So you would figure a low-scoring game, which means it probably will not. There's that curveball. It must have been low. It had the plate.
This situation is where Matt Cain has excelled this year. He'll let guys get on base, but with runners in scoring position, just 135 is all he allows on the season. Two and 1 to count to Casey McGee. Grounder headed into left field. The base hit. Morgan waved home. Will score the second Brewer run. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, just out of the reach of Crawford out there. You're kind of surprised he didn't dive for it and keep it in the infield. Would have been a base hit, but it certainly would have prevented a run from scoring. There's that curveball, stayed up in the zone. And another seeing eye base hit just out of the reach of Crawford. Ryan Braun had an infield single off the glove of Crawford. Now Casey McGee. Casey now 3 for 6 against Matt Cain.
2 on, 1 down for Mark Kotsay, who gets the start in right field. His 20th start this season in right field. Of course, he got a lot of the starts while Corey Hart was trying to rehab his way back at the beginning of the season. Corey Hart again missing today's game, still out with the flu. Kotsay 245 here in 2011. And quickly down 2 strikes. Jonathan Lucroy waits on deck. What a job he did in yesterday's game.
Man, look at the numbers for Kane against lefties. That's pretty good. 191 opponent batting average. He's got good stuff, does Matt Kane. He'll throw that cutter. He'll sink it from time to time. Curveball when he keeps it down in the zone. Get a guy like Matt Kane early, you might not ever get him.
Low to Katse. He has taken 5 no-hitters into the 7th inning in his career. And if he gets to 7 innings or more in his career, 41-18 record. Ground ball, Crawford gets one out, and the second one over to Huff for the double play. But the Brewers get the bats going early against an outstanding pitcher in Matt Kane. Ricky Weeks got things going, and Milwaukee ends up with 2 runs here in the first.
Dell's at the newest place, Dell's Brat and Corn. It opened about a month ago. Got the quintessential Wisconsin experience. Brat, roasted corn, a deep fried Twinkie. Craig, let's go back to you at Miller Park. We'll see you later.
Nice.
Oh, that looked pretty good.
I'm telling you, Clemens Bratwurst with a piece of corn, roasted corn. Wow.
How about the deep fried Twinkie?
No.
Not doing that?
No, I'll stay away from that.
A little extra butter on the corn, though, is okay,
yeah,
right?
I'll give you my fried Twinkie. Sounds good. It's like a high fastball, you know. Looks good, bad for you.
There you go. Nate Shearholtz leads off the 2nd inning for the Giants. Giovanni Gallardo working with a lead now of 2-0. Did a nice job against Matt Kane in that opening frame. And Giovanni Gallardo, used to working with a lead on this homestand, again beat the Giants 11, or I should say the Nationals 11-3 in his last start. And another lefty up at the plate. Shearholtz, Belt, and Crawford, all left-handers, all due up.
Well, Giovanni Gallardo, in each of his last 2 starts, has struck out 9 batters, so 18 strikeouts for Yo in his last 2 starts, only 4 walks.
This is outside. Well, a year ago, Giovanni Gallardo beat the Giants in San Francisco back on September 18th. 2-1 was the final score in that game. It was right at that time that the Giants had started to take over first place and make their run towards their World Series championship. Called strike 3 on Shearholtz.
Oh, that's the kind of location on the fastball that Gallardo has had lately. He's been throwing a lot of fastballs and well-located fastballs. That one on the corner at the bottom of the strike zone. But Mike Winters rings him up. Pretty close.
One down for Brandon Belt. He was recalled again from AAA this week. He was the opening day starting first baseman when the season began. Struggled at the plate, was sent back down, and of course now it's almost all hands on deck with all the injuries in the infield right now for the Giants.
That guy's in and out of that lineup trying to put together the right matchups as Bruce Bochy. It makes it tough when a manager when you don't have that consistent lineup, particularly at the top, that you can count on.
Gallardo ahead 2 strikes on Brandon Belt.
Teams that ordinarily are going to be consistent and score a lot of runs are pretty consistent night after night, 1 through 5 in the batting order. Bruce Bochy has not had that luxury.
What he does have is versatility out of a lot of his players. Many can play the outfield or the infield, including this guy at the plate right now.
And when you have your bench players in the starting lineup, it weakens your bench. You have guys in spots that they're not accustomed to. Got a lot of right-handed pop on that bench today, though. You got Pat Burrell, Tejada, Aaron Rowan, Cody Ross. All the bench players for San Francisco right-handed.
Called strike 3 again for Gallardo. He gets Belt looking on the outside.
Same pitch. Same exact pitch that Mike Winters rung up on Nate Shearholtz. Identical. I mean, you couldn't walk it across any better than that for Yo. Well, if the first one's a strike, the second one's got to be a strike, right? And it was. Right at the bottom of that zone.
2 down for Brandon Crawford, who was the Giants' hero on Friday night when he belted a grand slam against Sean Markham, his first major league hit. So a home run and 4 RBIs all in one swing of the bat, and those are his season numbers right now.
And it was the first pitch curveball from Markham with the bases loaded. Hung it up in the zone, and Crawford not even considered to be a home run hitter in the minor leagues. Got a hold of one on Friday night.
Crawford came in as a defensive replacement late in yesterday's game, as you see Sean Markham, who had a 6-game winning streak snapped Friday night. Was cruising right along until the 7th. Couldn't get anybody out before Crawford hit the grand slam. Can't prevent those hiccups when you're pitching that well.
And it's going to happen once in a while. He's been virtually unhittable just about all year. Every now and again, you're going to have a bad inning.
And the 3-1 misses. Crawford draws a walk. First walk given up by Yo in this game.
Hey, fans, on June 26th, bring your Miller High Life bottle caps to any Miller Park gate. The more collected, the more High Life experiences will be given to returning soldiers through the IAVA. Visit MillerHighLife.com for more information. Those are veterans of the Iraq-Afghanistan war. Every bottle cap that's collected, Miller High Life will donate 10 cents and will provide opportunities and experiences to those returning veterans. Boy, they deserve it. And that's a good thing to think about on this Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely a great cause and very easy to do. Well worth it.
Let's see how many bottle caps we can bring. You know, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to drink as many as I can possibly drink.
Oh, indeed.
What a great cause, though. I mean, really.
Well, tomorrow on Memorial Day, the Brewers will be in Cincinnati. Stewart, long fly ball. Morgan going back. And the final out of the second inning. Giovanni Gallardo getting his strikeout. Going up against the Giants. Got his first 2. Still 2-0 Milwaukee. Miller Park on Sunday afternoon, 2-0 Milwaukee, leading San Francisco. And Jonathan LaCroix set to lead off for the Brew Crew. His first at bat since yesterday's big squeeze play that won the game for Milwaukee. What a thing of beauty that was.
Well, did an excellent job. All you have to do is get it down. Ryan Braun took off right at the right time. You leave too early, they pitch out. And then you're in trouble. But a guy that handles the bat very well, Jonathan LaCroix, able to bunt it in fair territory. Kind of surprising it was LaCroix to get that at bat. Everybody was, thinking it might be Mark Kotsay, left-hander on the bench. But I guess it makes sense to have LaCroix go up there because, as the game goes on, you don't know if you're going to be able to win it. You pinch hit Kotsay, then you have to bring LaCroix in for defense, so you're burning two guys instead of one.
Well, LaCroix a bit surprised himself when he looked over to take the signs from Eddie Cedar. He said he just gave him a long look going, is that what I think it is? And then looked into the dugout for confirmation.
Yeah, and the Brewers do not have a, I've got it sign. The hitter normally, back in the old days, you do something, maybe touch the top of your helmet or tap the bat on the plate a couple of times. Ron Rennick doesn't believe in that, acknowledging that squeeze sign. He feels as though it might give it away. So everybody hoping that LaCroix had the sign, including Ryan Braun. Eddie Cedar whispered over to Braun, the squeeze is on, and that's how it all works.
It was a fun one to watch and a lot of talk after the ball game as LaCroix strikes out. But let's hear from his manager on the suicide squeeze yesterday.
I know a lot of times you don't squeeze with bases loaded just because they have the force at home, but I felt Luke would get it down in a place where they couldn't flip it to home in time. And you got Bronny running from third, which is very good speed. It's going to take a real nice play to get him.
Well, you like the way the Brewers have been winning games. Fielder with a walk-off home run in this homestand and a walk-off squeeze play. I remember a few years ago, Billy Hall ended a game at Miller Park with a squeeze against Cincinnati. It hasn't happened all that often.
It's the first time it happened this year. Last year it happened 2 times in the majors as Betancourt pops one up in the infield. Third baseman Burris handles it. Look on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com homepage and win prizes on the new Fox Sports Wisconsin Fan Zone. From team merchandise and game tickets to unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. Not a member will join now. It's fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. So the squeeze play, first time this year, twice last year. Howie Kendricks of the Angels and Adam Jones of Baltimore. So happening in the American League and happening with Ron Rennecke's old team, the Angels. Giovanni Gallardo flies out to right for the final out here in the 7th. official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway, try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat.
The Brewers lead the Giants by a couple of runs here at Miller Park in the top of the third inning. I'm pleased to be joined by Steve Wynn of the Baseball Project. And Steve, just tell us a little bit about what the Baseball Project is and what brings you to Milwaukee.
Well, Baseball Project is a band. We're a band that sings and writes songs about baseball. We have a couple records out, and we were here to play a show at Turner Field last night. We're having a good time taking in a weekend of ball games as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gig. And also, you're also going to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Now, what can fans expect? Are you going to razzle-dazzle a little bit, or are you going to keep it traditional?
You know, even though we're rockers and play wild rock music, we're kind of traditionalists at the same time. So I think we'll do justice to the song.
All right, Steve, looking forward to it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Craig, back to you.
All right, Telly. Good stuff. The Baseball Project. Looking forward to hearing them a little bit later on as Matt Cain, the Giants pitcher, bats here to open up the third inning. Always into something new.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good tour they're on.
You never know who Telly's going to dig up here at the ballpark. Take me out to the ball game today. What, 7th inning stretch, you figure?
There you go. I think that would work. After the sausage race,
right,
an inning later. Like to spread the wealth here at Miller Park.
Right.
Looks like another near sellout watching Giovanni Gallardo work with the lead against the Giants. It's usually a pretty good omen. King gets a hold of one. Morgan on the run into the gap and makes the catch for the first out.
For just $24, get a Terrace Reserve ticket to the Brewers games June 20th through the 24th. A general admission Summerfest ticket and a shirt. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/Summerfest.
Already talking Summerfest.
Yeah. I hope the weather's better.
Well, I tell you, it has turned into a dreary Sunday around the ballpark. Thank goodness again for the panels in the roof.
Right.
Torres batting for the second time in this game. Corey Hart in the dugout talking with Craig Counsell. Out again today, and you can almost see it in Corey's eyes that he is battling something.
A little flushed. Nice, though, to have a guy like Nigel Morgan you can insert in the lineup. Number 2 spot. Nigel's an ideal number 2 hitter.
Torres some pretty good numbers against right-handed pitching. .324 this season. Flew out to left field to lead off the ball game. Called strike 3. All 3 strikeouts for Yo. And then through the home plate umpire Mike Winters.
Yeah, big time movement on this pitch. This was supposed to be on the inside corner, ended up outer half. Boy, 2-seam fastball at 93 miles an hour for Gallardo. Look at the movement, almost handcuffing Lucroy behind home plate. That one had plenty of home plate, and Torres knew it. Well, you love the way Gallardo is really establishing fastball. This is the 5th consecutive start where he's been very aggressive early in the count, throwing good fastballs on the corners. And his put-away pitch has been that curveball. But as you mentioned today, all 3 strikeouts have been looking.
So the backwards K getting a workout here. Emmanuel Burris takes a strike to even up the count. Burris grounded out to Gallardo his first time up. When he gets on base, he is a base threat to steal. 16 steals at AAA. Led AAA. And Gallardo backs off the rubber. Yo has won his last 4 starts. Has pitched very well. His ERA during that time, 1.67. Burris lines one foul. And Yo got into that rut about a month ago, where when he got into trouble, maybe tried to do a little bit too much. And of course, Rick Kranitz at that time says that's normal for any pitcher to do that. Just needs to regain his confidence, and boy, has he.
Man, you don't know how much of an effect that complete game shutout that he was able to throw against the Braves here at Miller Park. To 111 pitches, and after that, for 4 straight starts, he really scuffled. We're not used to seeing that from Gallardo, but he has certainly turned things around, and his use of the fastball is one of the big reasons why he's been throwing so well.
It's been effective so far in this game. And Burris draws the count full. And a smash. Fielder's got it to Gallardo. Nice play to end the 3rd inning. Prince Fielder making the stop, and a good strong toss to Gallardo. Very athletic, takes care of business for the final out. And now the Brewers will work the top of their lineup. Everything closed up inside, though, and the Brewers with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning against the Giants. Top of the order, and Ricky Weeks set to lead off for Milwaukee against Matt Cain. He started things back in the 1st inning with a single and would later score the first of 2 runs off Cain. Very productive 1st inning for the Brewers. So Ricky Weeks, 9 home runs, 19 RBIs on the season. It's amazing the numbers that prove to show when Ricky Weeks gets on base and actually scores in the game, how much the Brewers win.
Yeah, top
percentage is high.
Yeah, top of the order getting on for Brawny and Fielder. Very important number 1 and 2 spots in any batting order when you have your 3 and 4 hitters coming up. And Ricky does it with a base hit or the walk. He's got an on-base percentage around .360, which is very good for leadoff hitters these days.
Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes against Ricky Weeks. Nigel Morgan waits on deck. First 3 batters against Cain reached in the 1st inning. Here's the 2-2. And Ricky strikes out for the first out. Good defense has helped on this Brewer homestand, and Yo and Prince Fielder teaming up right here.
Yeah, they've been in the top half defensively all season long. 26 errors for the Brewers, and a nice backhand pickup by Prince, angling back. And Yovani Gallardo, very athletic, making an adjustment on the throw. Able to get there for the out.
And Morgan fouls away the first pitch. He had a base hit and scored back in the second inning as well. Casey McGee drove him home.
Yep, Brewers with 26 errors. The Philadelphia Phillies with the fewest errors in the National League at 22. So the Brewers are not far behind the best defensive team in the league.
Well, when you have depth like Niger Morgan in that outfield, that's one of the reasons why. The outfield has been outstanding for the Brewers so far this season.
Yeah, and the Brewers have done a nice job with minimizing errors, and turning double plays has been a strong suit for the team, up amongst league leaders in turning double plays. They've turned 47 of them.
Morgan the other way, straightaway left for Brandon Belt. That brings us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. This is from John in Germantown. Which was more impressive yesterday, Gomez's inside the park home run or the game-winning squeeze bunt by Lucroy?
More impressive? I guess what impressed me about the squeeze play is the fact that Ron Renick was willing to put it on with the bases loaded and 1 out. Boy, a lot of things can go wrong in a squeeze play. You know, Bronny leaves too early. You know, Moda pitches out. It might really end the inning and you head to the 10th inning, but Ron Renick had the guy up there at the plate that he wanted. So the squeeze play for me, just executing and putting it on, was the most impressive thing for me yesterday.
I think one of the differences is there's a game plan for one and there's not a game plan for the other one. And inside the park home run, things just have to happen.
Right. Well, you got to be fast, number one, right?
Well, you do.
But you know, the squeeze play involves so many different variables.
Here's one more look at that squeeze by Lucroy, and Braun coming in hard.
And what makes it more difficult on a squeeze play with the bases loaded, that you just have to, it's a force out at home plate. If Lucroy bunts it too hard right back to Moto, all he's got to do is shovel the ball to home. No tag needed.
2-out base hit for Ryan Braun. It's amazing what he could do to keep that at bat going and help set the stage for Prince Fielder.
Now look at that pitch. Middle in. He pulls the hands in and shoots it right back into center field. Some kind of hitter. Sometimes you take his at-bats for granted, but we shouldn't. I mean, it's a special thing to watch Braun up there at the plate every day. He can do things with the bat that most cannot.
Prince Fielder.
This guy's not bad either.
Ryan Braun, if you go back to his last at bat on Friday night, has reached base 7 consecutive times safely. Walked back in the 8th inning on Friday night, walked 3 times yesterday, got the base hit in the 9th to start the rally, and 2 singles here today. That's why he's among the league leaders in getting on base, total bases.
Look at the position of the hands right here. He pulls the hands in, is able to shoot that ball into center field. Let the ball get right basically to the edge of home plate. That's how you hit the ball back through the middle.
And Ryan Braun steals second base. Prince Fielder checked his swing. A ball and 2 strikes. And now Braun, his 13th stolen base in 14 attempts.
Big lead. Looked like Matt Cain not worrying too much about him. And steals it easily.
His career high 20 stolen bases in a season back in 2009. Fielder up the middle, base hit. Here comes Braun. The throw to the plate, not in time. And Prince Fielder with another RBI to add to his league total. And the Brewers take a 3-0 lead.
How about those two, huh? 2 outs, nobody on. Braun with a base hit, a stolen base, and Fielder obliges. Surprised that they went after Fielder, even on a 1-2 count. They're one of the best run producers in the game. You go after him. Pitch down and away. It looked like it might have been a changeup. I think it was actually one of the few changeups that Matt Cain's thrown today. And Prince able to bang it into center and scores easily. Ryan Braun.
And now Casey McGee, who drove in the Brewers' second run of the game back in the first with a base hit.
I think one of the things that played into the decision, to go after Prince, Matt Cain's been very good against left-handed batters. We showed you the graphic earlier. A batting average under 200 for Matt Cain against lefties. And lately it's been even better than that.
Casey lays off 2-1. Also mentioned the number with runners in scoring position at 135, and the Brewers have done very well early in the ball game in that category. Strike on McGee to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGee to right, base hit. Almost hit Prince Fielder. Did a nice job of avoiding that baseball. And so 2 aboard, and the 2-out rally started by Ryan Braun continues.
Another terrific approach. This time Case McGee goes into right field. Boy, he loves to use the opposite field. When he's got 2 strikes or you get a ball away from him, you can see the point of contact. Basically, even with the belt buckle, is Case McGee able to get on top of it. And you can see the way the belt buckle really not rotated all the way toward the pitcher, more toward the second baseman. That's how you hit a pitch the other way. Just take the same swing, just wait a little bit longer.
Well, Casey entered today's game at 251. Couple of base hits already, one going the other way, and you might be starting to sense that Casey McGee will finally get on a hot streak. Hasn't had a real hot streak yet this season.
But he's been able to maintain that batting average up, 250, 260, even though he's not swinging the bat as he would like to, or the way he did last year.
Kotze fouls one back. (102 RBIs a year ago for Casey McGee, 23 this season. Kotze grounded into a double play in the first inning. But not before the Brewers scored 2 off Cain. They've got one here and a chance to play one more if he can get a base hit. Kotze has turned out to be a very valuable pickup during the offseason for Milwaukee. Fly ball center field. Torres on the run. Going to get underneath this one for the final out. Brewers get one more thanks to Prince.
RBI of the season, driving home Ricky Weeks. Casey McGee will go in the same area for an RBI to drive home Nigel Morgan. Giovanni Gallardo has been sharp. 3 Ks, all looking so far in this game. And in the bottom of the third, Prince Fielder's 42nd RBI of the season will give the Crew a 3-0 lead, and Yo is back on the mound at work in the top of the 4th inning, correct?
All right, Telly, Freddie Sanchez leading off the 4th inning for the Giants, who have managed only 1 hit against Giovanni Gallardo, and it was from Freddie Sanchez back in the 1st inning. A 2-out base hit, but he was stranded right there. Only 2 base runners allowed by Giovanni Gallardo in this game so far against the Giants. High fly ball straight away center field for Nigel Morgan. And there's one down in the Giant 4th. Our AT&T trivia question here this afternoon: who hit the first inside the park home run in Brewers history? We're going to start digging that one up. We saw the list yesterday that was presented to us, with Carlos Gomez, of course, the latest on top of the list of 23 inside the park home runs hit by the Brewers in their franchise history.
Yeah, the Brewers had 2 of those within a 2-week stretch in their first season in Milwaukee. And if you get this guy, I mean, you are a true Brewer fan, a diehard.
I would agree, as I see this list now.
Yeah. So you just gave away that I have a list and didn't know it off the top of my head.
I said that we were presented a list.
That's right. That's right. I wasn't listening to you. I'm sorry.
Aubrey Huff just wide of Prince Fielder. A 2-2 count now on the Giants first baseman. There are some names some will recognize and some that you're not going to recognize. Who has the most, Rock?
Robin Yount. Is that a surprise?
Nope. The number is pretty nice, though. Morgan coming in, and Betancourt going out and makes the catch. Nice job by Yuniesky Betancourt. Looking like a wide receiver catching that one over his shoulder.
Yeah, Betancourt had to make the play. Nigel Morgan was shaded around toward right center. He wasn't able to get there, and Yuniesky able to haul it in. Good play going back over the shoulder. Calling off Morgan, saying, "Get out of the way. Don't run me over. I've got it."
Those who are serving for our nation taking part here at Miller Park this afternoon. We salute those veterans here on Memorial Day weekend. Big thumbs up and appreciation.
Yes, sir. You betcha.
Nate Shearholz with 2 down. To McGee. A nice quick inning for Giovanni Gallardo. He continues to pitch the shutout against the Giants.
With the crew in the community. On Saturday, June 11th, Brewers wives will be selling baskets filled with their husband's favorite things. Brewers wives will be stationed at the Brewers Community Foundation table located on the field level, selling raffle tickets for a small donation at $2 for $10, $5 for $20, and arm's length for $50 until the fourth inning. The drawing to announce the lucky winners of the baskets will take place during the top of the seventh inning, with all the proceeds going to the Brewers Community Foundation. Correct?
All right, Telly, sounds like a winner right there. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Jonathan Lucroy leads off for Milwaukee. A basket filled with their favorite things.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any rules to that. Any regulations?
I don't know.
Seems pretty wide open. Could be food, keepsakes.
Video games, maybe.
Video games, yeah.
That's a big thing amongst the players.
And Lucroy strikes out for the second time in this ballgame. But boy, his numbers are impressive this season. Not only what he's doing for the Brewers, but if you compare him to all other catchers in baseball. 333, 5 home runs, 24 RBIs for a guy that didn't even begin the season with the big league roster. He was on the DL, Rock.
Yep, he missed the first 10 games, and when you look at offensive numbers for catchers, you know, he's right there with him. Run production, home runs, RBIs, right up there with Brian McCann, you know, Yadier Molina. You know, Buster Posey's out for the season apparently right now. So, hey, you know, Jonathan Lucroy has every right to be in contention for an all-star this year. I mean, he's done a very good job offensively. Plays every day. Been a nice surprise for Ron Renicky at the bottom of that batting order.
Well, Betancourt puts one into play. Burris throws him out from third, 2 down. It is a pretty good story to share, though, you know, going back to last year and his rise to the big leagues, and somebody that they weren't even counting on. Even when they called him up, he was more likely to be the backup catcher at that point, but quickly took over.
Yeah, he just got called up to AAA not long before he got called up. Greg Zahn was injured. That shoulder injury, and ended up missing the rest of the season. Lucroy pressed into duty.
High fly ball left field. Belt right on the line makes the catch. So a quick inning for Matt Cain. We are through 4, 3-0 Milwaukee. It's here at Miller Park. The Brewers are red hot at home, so don't miss a chance to see the Brewers take on the New York Mets when they return to Miller Park June 7th through the 9th. Tickets are going fast, so call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com. A win today would push Milwaukee's homestand record, their longest of the season so far, which is 9 games, to 8-1. We go to the 5th inning. Yovani Gallardo has given up just 1 hit against the Giants so far in this game.
Yeah, the Brewers have more home wins than any team in the major leagues. I mean, they have been tremendous here at Miller Park. They've got 20 wins, 20-7 of the Brewers at home. Just have to do a better job on the road, 8-17.
It's amazing when you look at, after 27 games a year ago, the Brewers half as many wins. They were just 10-17 in this ballpark. Hard to imagine that it could turn that fast.
Well, there's really no explaining, some of the splits that teams and individuals have as they go through the season. Just one of those things that inexplicable. But I tell you, you have to give a little bit of the credit, or a lot of the credit, to the fans here in Milwaukee. I mean, they come out and support the team, and the players recognize that. You can't minimize the effect that the home crowd here in Milwaukee has on the intensity that these players feel at home. So keep coming out. That's what we're talking about. It's all about runs scored on the road. The pitching still has been very good for the Brewers. Home runs down, runs are down. Everything else pretty much the same.
3-2 to Brandon Belt. He belts one out to left field, and Reinbraun's got it on the warning track.
And that brings us to today's time of the game. It's the Silver Eagle Saloon in Watertown. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2011 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Several people enjoying an ice cold Miller Lite here at Miller Park, and enjoying a Brewer lead at this point, which is 3-0. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, starting his 2nd big league game. I would think, Rock, that a question you've been asked probably 100 times: why can't this team win on the road, and will they win on the road? Obviously, we're going to start answering those questions starting tomorrow in Cincinnati. But just what they've done here at home in the last week and a half, not only do you build confidence, but you find ways to win. This team has found ways to win, and their defense and their pitching remains as solid as it really did on the road.
I think their offense is intact. I mean, up until this homestand, you got Nyjer Morgan back. You've got Corey Hart back, although he's battling the flu right now. But I think all the pieces that Ron Renicky has been waiting for to get together. His starting lineup just surfaced on this homestand. The one that he had figured on, going into spring training. Lucroy back, Hart back. The starting pitching has been terrific in the last 12 starts, a 6-2 record. Look at the earned run average, and they've been eating up innings. Look at the strikeouts. Walks are down, strikeouts are up. They've been able to eat up almost 78 innings, and that's going to keep the bullpen strong all season. It's very rare to have back-to-back poor starts out of this rotation.
Stewart takes a whack at the first pitch, and Nyjer Morgan there, and another quick inning for Yovani Gallardo. Brewers playing under the bright lights of Miller Park as the dome is closed. The big city of Milwaukee doing its part on this 9-game homestand. The Brewers trying to improve to 8-1 before they head out on the road. Another near sellout crowd here at Miller Park on this Sunday afternoon as Ricky Weeks is set to lead off for the 3rd time already in this game. 3-0 Brewers. Weeks hit a base hit and scored the game's first run back in the 1st inning. Struck out his last time up against Matt Cain. There's a strike to Weeks.
It's kind of the way Matt Cain is. I mean, sometimes it takes him a while to settle in, particularly on the road, although he hasn't had that issue much this year. He's been very good away from San Francisco.
Little floater into right field and another base hit for Ricky Weeks. That's his 2nd of the game. So the leadoff runner aboard for Milwaukee. Let's take a look at our Ho-Chunk text the broadcast question. When there is a need to replace an umpire, are there replacement umpires nearby? Dave in Genesee wants to know. For the answer, let's go to Telly Hughes with a special guest.
Well, Craig, no better man to ask about that rule than a man who umpired in the major leagues for 37 years. That's Bruce Fleming. And Bruce, can you just take us about the process? We saw the home plate umpire yesterday, Mark Wagner, pull a calf muscle, and before you know it, there was already another umpire in place ready to go. How does that process work?
Well, we got supervision in most of the parks, and if we don't have supervision like myself, we have observers. And as soon as something like that happens, our point man being our medical man, Mark Laton, who works for MLB and the commissioner's office, we get him the message, and then the process starts not only to get Mark better and get a doctor to him, but to get another umpire brought up from the minor leagues.
So
what happened yesterday?
So how close were we to seeing you come out of retirement?
Well, I didn't have the right hat size in, and I knew Schroeder would have a problem with it.
There you go, Rock. We almost had Bruce out of retirement, but he didn't want to come back and ruin things.
I was pulling for that, you know. We had a shot of Bruce up in the press box. I said, have Bruce go on down. I mean, the guy's been 37 years, over 5,000 games. I don't think he would have had any problem with it.
He still remembers everything.
He's in good shape. Yeah, Bruce is a great guy. We lean on Bruce quite a bit. He's here at the ballpark just about every game when the Brewers are home. And times that I will call Bruce after a game, ask him about a certain call or something related to umpiring. And we're very fortunate to have Bruce in Milwaukee with us.
Ija Morgan down 2 strikes. Called strike 3 on the Brewers center fielder for the 1st out.
Hey, for just $18, get 1 Terrace Reserve ticket to select Brewers games and 1 2011 admission ticket to the Milwaukee County Zoo, plus a Brew Crew and the Zoo t-shirt. For details, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/zoo. A Brew Crew and the Zoo t-shirt.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
1 down runner at first. Ricky Weeks for Ryan Braun. And Ryan Braun in that 3rd inning with 2 down singled, stole second, and then scored on Prince Fielder's base hit to give Milwaukee a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, I was saying before we had that question that, you know, Matt Cain's one of those guys, you don't get him early, he's going to start to settle down pretty well, particularly on the road. A foreign mound here at Miller Park. Hasn't thrown here all that often. One thing you notice about Matt Cain right away when he came out in the 1st inning, his velocity down considerably from last year. I mean, Matt Cain was a mid-90s fastball pitcher, and he's getting into the low 90s right now. Velocity seems to be down about 3-4 miles an hour, which is considerable for a pitcher. That's a lot to lose right away.
Makes a huge difference. As you mentioned, the numbers when you just say them don't seem like it really reveals that, but on this level it certainly does. The Brewers have got him for 8 hits so far in this game. Run to right field. That ball has nice carry. But just in front of the wall, Scherholz with the out. Ricky Weeks tagging from first and makes it into second base. Fans vote for your favorite Brewers for the 2011 All-Star team, and you'll be eligible to win great prizes, including a night in Ryan Braun's suite with a visit from Ryan himself. For details, visit Brewers.com/All-Star. Vote early, vote often, and most importantly, vote Brewers. So will you see Ryan Braun there? We see Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder.
Now it looked like Scherholz drifted to that baseball. Didn't think that Ricky would be tagging up. He might have played a little bit differently, but you tag up from first base with Prince coming up, and this is what the opposition's able to do with first base Prince. But this pretty much highlights the reason why Casey McGee's got to have a big season once again.
Well, Casey came through last time up with a base hit. And the first time up, he had a single and scored a run. So Prince Fielder gets his 7th intentional pass, which ties him with Joey Votto of the Reds for first in the National League. So they're not going to allow Prince Fielder to do what he did back in the 3rd. And first base was open. Brought home Ryan Braun with the base hit with 2 outs. So Casey McGee steps in. Prince Fielder with a base hit his last time up. 2 hits today for lefties against Kane. None in his last 2 starts combined. So they don't allow Fielder to do any more damage. We'll pitch to McGee with 2 down and 2 on.
Yeah, I think those numbers that you just stated, 0 for 19 left-handed batters against Kane. The 2 starts before this one is why they pitched to him in the 3rd, and Prince got him and drove in the run.
Casey, big swing, and he fouls one back. Count even at a ball and a strike against the Brewers' 3rd baseman. Ball and 2 strikes now to McGee.
That fastball right there at 92 miles an hour. It used to be 95, 96 for Kane. And that's why Casey able to get a piece of it. You swing at 95, 96 miles an hour up there. Not too many hitters are going to be able to make contact.
Two and 2 now to Casey. Kane's overall record 60 and 65 heading into today's contest. Former #1 pick by San Francisco back in 2002. Called strike 3 on McGee, and that ends the Brewer 5th inning. He stands in disbelief, but the Brewers still with a 3-0 lead as we go to the 6th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch, high fly ball, and Braun back to the warning track, and he makes the catch against Matt Cain, the pitcher.
Hey, Cain puts a good swing on that baseball, doesn't he? Two pretty good hitting pitchers going at it today. Gallardo got a pretty good piece of the baseball his last time up.
Yeah, they both fly out to deep left.
He's swinging that bat like he knows what he's doing. Just got under it enough, almost hit it out of here.
One down in the sixth, top of the order for Torres. Torres 0 for 2 in this game. A strikeout and a flyout. Gallardo has given up just one hit. And Morgan for the second out.
Gallardo getting some outs early in counts. You love to see that, and just about every time it's been with the fastball. You know, it's one thing to throw a lot of fastballs and fastballs early in count, but you have to locate them well. Gallardo has done that today. You throw them down the middle, they're going to be gappers somewhere, but he's been able to keep it down, keep it on the corners. He's had good control of it.
3 strikeouts in the game for Yovani Gallardo. 1 single given up to Sanchez and a walk to Crawford. It's pretty much his game summary here against the Giants in game 3 of this series.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts and 3 ground ball outs. Everything else in the air.
Emmanuel Burris now up.
Make that 4 ground ball outs and the rest of them in the air.
Burris robbed his last time up by Prince Fielder, who made a nice backhanded stop and then a very nice accurate throw to Gallardo covering first base. There's a strike from Yo. 9 hits in this ball game combined between the Brewers and Giants. 8 of those for Milwaukee, but all 9 are singles. No one's hit the ball real hard yet.
Well, you have 8 singles. You better be productive with men in scoring position. The Brewers 3 for 7. 2 of those hits run scoring singles in the first inning. And you had the Fielder base hit to score Braun in the third.
Here's the 1-2 to Burris. Little tapper in the infield. Weeks. Quick throw for the final out. Boy, Yo, very, very efficient so far through 6 innings as he continues to shut out the San Francisco Giants. Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By AirTran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. Back at Miller Park, everything closed up here. The rain and mist settled in just before first pitch this afternoon. Great to have the dome, and the Brewers doing very well here in this game as they try to wrap up this 9-game homestand by getting their 8th win. And they've worked well against Matt Cain, who's given up 8 singles in this game and 3 earned runs. He struck out 5 Brewers. And Mark Kotze set to lead off here in the Brewers' 6th inning. Brewers came into this game 2.5 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals in second place in the National League Central. How about Jaime Garcia in yesterday's game for St. Louis? He got tagged for 12 runs in 3 1/3 innings.
About time. That's about the only bad outing he's had. He's 5-1 now. And Colorado laid one on him yesterday.
A nice catch out there by Brandon Belts. Let's answer some AT&T trivia. Who hit the first inside the park home run in Brewers history? You've had time to research. Did your answer say Roberto Pena back in 1970 against the Tigers back in the AL days?
Hey, remember the big center field back in Old Tiger Stadium? I would imagine it rattled around out there. That was a long way out in center field at that ballpark. Now, Robin Yount has more inside the park home runs than any hitter in Brewers history. He's had 6 of them, but only 1 in Milwaukee. He had 5 of them on the road.
How about that? That's a good stat right there.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, Prince Fielder's got 2 on that list. I don't think many people would have penciled him in for an inside the park home run when he began his big league career.
Yep, 1 in Minnesota, 1 here at Miller Park.
One thing about Prince, though, he keeps running from the get-go. And as you mentioned, that's really the only way you're going to get him.
Now, something crazy has to happen for an inside the park home run. Ordinarily, somebody falling down, you lose one in the sun, or in the case of the Metrodome, lost it in that roof up there. Hey, Brewer fans, visit your Milwaukee area Supercuts and pick up a Brewers punch card. With just 3 haircuts, you will receive a free ticket to a Brewers game. For the location nearest you, visit supercuts.com.
Supercuts, huh?
You think they could handle Brian Wilson's
I don't know.
beard?
I think that might throw them off a bit, seeing that walking in the door.
A little intimidating.
Can I get on your wait list? That would be something.
Right.
Unieski Betancourt with 2 down. Jonathan Lucroy struck out 3 times. He's victim of half of Matt Cain's strikeouts. Betancourt 0 for 2 in this one. Make it 1 for 3. Base hit to left with 2 down.
That went down and got a pretty good breaking pitch on a 1-2 count. I'll tell you, 4 pitches for Betancourt. That's working the count for him.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Boy, he likes to swing early. Not a bad breaking ball, but Betancourt able to go down, bends the knees, and knocks it into left. Another single for the Brewers. They're 9th today.
Well, with 2 down, he does his job in the 8th hole by getting on base and bringing up the pitcher Giovanni Gallardo. 0 for 2. Hit the ball pretty well for his last out back in the 3rd inning to left field.
Betancourt keeping that front shoulder closed as long as he can and goes down and gets a pretty good pitcher's pitch. You see that shot on the left, gets it on the end of the bat and hooks it into left field.
Well, Giovanni Gallardo up to bat again, and you wonder what kind of competition he and Zach Greinke are going to have. Greinke in his last game hit his first Brewer home run. Competition hitting the home run ball. Little floater into right center, falls for Yo. He's on, and Betancourt able to get to third with 2 down.
Well, you see that Betancourt base hit, and you're thinking, all right, you clear Gallardo out. Next inning, you get the top of the order to lead off. But with Gallardo, he swings the bat so well, able to dump one in front of Torres in center. And you got to play a little bit deeper for Gallardo than you do for most pitchers. That's why that ball was able to fall in. He's got some pretty good power, able to dump one into center, and Betancourt with 2 outs, running on contact into third base for the top of the order.
Ricky Weeks 2 for 3 in this game. Had a base hit his last time up, stranded at second base, scored a run back in the first. Has a good chance here to pad the lead.
And speaking of all-star candidates, Ricky Weeks. He's got that average near 290, 9 home runs, 37 runs scored.
Our Powerball home run count has Ricky Weeks on that list on Friday. As Ricky Weeks goes deep for the Brewers. That was back in the 3rd inning.
Gave the Brewers a 2-0 lead on Tim Litzko.
Tough loss on Friday for Milwaukee. Weeks right down the left field line, base hit. Betancourt is in. Gallardo being waved around. And he will score standing up. And Ricky Weeks with a huge 2-out base hit. The first extra base hit of the game.
Wow, 2 outs, nobody on. Single, double, 2 runs in. And the Brewers stretch their lead to 5-0. A good day for Ricky Weeks. I think it's time to start, touting Ricky Weeks as an all-star. I mean, there's that fastball. Leaked back over the middle half of the plate. And rips it down the line just out of the reach of Burris. And Gallardo all the way from first, able to score standing up. There you go. 2-out Lightning.
Gallardo running very well all the way from first. And it is 5-0 Milwaukee. Now Niger Morgan. The chance to bring one more home with Weeks in scoring position at second base. Now Yo can settle down in that dugout and catch his breath. These 5 earned runs, second highest given up by Kane, go all the way back to April 20th against Colorado when he gave up 6 earned runs.
And that's how well he's pitched. He's been very consistent.
Morgan, good roller to Sanchez for the final out, but fireworks again at Miller Park with 2 down. It's 5-0 Brewers.
wasting no time getting on the board. In the bottom of the first, Ryan Braun will drive in Ricky Weeks for a 1-0 lead. Casey McGee will go in the same area to drive home Niger Morgan. And in the bottom of the third, with 2 outs, Prince Fielder drives in his league-leading 42nd RBI. And in the bottom of the 6th, Ricky Weeks with 2 outs, he drives in 2 with a double to give the Crew a 5-0 lead. Giovanni Gallardo's back on the mound to work the top of the 7th, Craig, and he's right at 80 pitches.
Pretty nice and tidy for Giovanni Gallardo. Take a look at the best run support in the National League. Gallardo second only to Jason Marquis. More than 6.5 run support. Got 11 in his last start. Win over the Nationals. Has 5 here today. And this is the only hit he's given up. He's pitched a gem to Freddie Sanchez, and this was back in the first inning.
And one of the few mistakes that he's made with that fastball right down the middle, and Sanchez is able to bang it into center.
Sanchez quickly down 2 strikes. It's going to be strike 3 as soon as this throw is complete, and it is to Prince Fielder. And Giovanni Gallardo, our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and he has delivered from the get-go. Just the one hitter so far against the Giants.
Well, he's been very efficient with his pitches, getting some outs early in counts with his fastball. He's got 4 strikeouts. The last strikeout to Freddie Sanchez, the only one swinging on a good curveball. 1 walk, 4 punch outs for Gallardo, and 1 hit. Another tremendous start by the Brewers rotation.
Aubrey Huff 0 for 2 in this game. And there is base hit number 2 off Giovanni Gallardo. So 2 singles given up by Yo. This with 1 down. And Giovanni Gallardo pitches very well, hits very well, but can run the bases and show off his athleticism very well. Watch this. First to home, score on the Weeks double.
And you know, Eddie Cedar, the third base coach, was thinking he's got to be able to stand up, or I'm not going to send him. And Gallardo with pretty good speed around the bases. You wonder how that affects him when he goes out, for the 7th. But a strikeout of Freddie Sanchez, I guess, answered that question.
Yeah, came right back out of the gates. Now he's got to go to work for only the 2nd time, with actually the 3rd time today with somebody on base. He's given up 2 base hits and a walk. Previous 2 runners stranded over at first.
Had retired 14 in a row.
Yeah. Racking him up as Yo. Nate Schierholtz 1-1. Another sellout crowd here at Miller Park. 43,035. Ground ball to Weeks. Flips to Betancourt to Fielder. And there's the game's first double play for the Brewers. Helping out their pitcher Giovanni Gallardo. Nice and slick, making it work. 4-6-3. And now every Sunday, God bless America, as we honor America here at Miller Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join the Milwaukee Brewers and all of Major League Baseball as we honor our great nation with the singing of God Bless America, led by Martina McBride.
From
5-0 lead. Telly Hughes, Jerry Augustine getting you set for our Brewers Live post-game report. And Jerry, what more can you say about Yovani Gallardo? Through 7 innings, only 2 hits.
I'll tell you, the one thing they talk about is tempo. And today he's got such a great rhythm. He's getting into his delivery. But the main thing, he's throwing strikes. He's only throwing around 89 pitches through 7 innings. So he's been very efficient. And I think that's a big story why he's pitching so well.
Yeah, and Yovani has definitely gotten some offensive help with 3 of the 5 runs coming with 2 outs. And coming up on our Brewers Live post-game report, we'll try to catch up with a few of today's heroes, and we'll have our on-field instructional. So, Craig, a lot in store for Brewers Live.
Well, looking forward to it. Be nice to cap off with another win here at Miller Park and cap off the 9-game homestand with their 8th win. Still a little bit of work to do as the Brewers and Ryan Braun go to work. That's going to be a base hit. Gets past the center fielder Torres, and Braun never stopped running and gets into second base.
Well, these guys don't know anything else but to hustle every time they swing the bat. This is about as much as you'll see a baseball team hustle every time. You know, routine ground balls, line drives. I mean, Ryan Braun running hard down the line. He sees that ball get away from Torres and able to get into second base easily. There is no dogging it down the line too much. You see Brawny thinking perhaps that Torres might have caught that baseball, but fast enough to get into second base.
And now Prince fielder. Nobody out here in the Brewers' 7th inning. Jeremy Affeldt, the new Giants pitcher, as Matt Cain's day is over, and he's had some rough outings trying to work out some kinks here this afternoon.
Yes, he has. His last 7 contests, he's given up 6 runs. Batters are now 11 for 23, including that double by Brawny.
Prince has it put in play. Brewers can't handle it. Braun will score. And that ball never hopped up into his glove, went right underneath and past him.
Well, the check swing, and Burris was there, went right under his glove. You got to figure that's going to be an error. And no RBI for Prince. But Affeldt came in on him. Burris expecting that ball to come up. I guess the only thing that they're thinking about, maybe give Prince a base hit. He still won't get an RBI on it. And Ryan Braun hustles around third base and scores again. And the Brewers now with a 6-0 lead.
It's going to be error on Burris. Ron Renicke's team opening up a nice lead against the Giants, trying to pave their way to another victory. Casey McGee at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Very productive day, couple of singles, his first 2 at-bats before striking out his last trip up.
And that came in a nice pitch on him on the outside corner last time up.
To short. And they'll wheel it around for the 6-4-3 double play.
Another big day at the plate for Ryan Braun. 3 base hits, an RBI, 2 runs scored. The only out he made was a deep fly to right. Room service double play for the Giants.
Braun's only been retired 3 times in this entire 3-game series. Mark Kotsay with 2 down. 0 for 3 in this game. Here are Affeldt's season numbers. 25th appearance, and as Rock mentioned, he has been hit pretty hard over a good 7-game stretch. Kotsay with a base hit just past Sanchez. Number 13. 13 base hits for the Brewers.
And Mark Kotsay involved in the hit parade. Lefty versus lefty. It was supposed to be away, ended up middle in and just out of the reach of Sanchez and into center field. Well, the hits keep coming for the Brewers.
So everybody has gotten a base hit. except for the catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, who has struck out 3 times in this game. Maybe a new pitcher will help him reach base. 333 coming into today's action, down to 325. So far 0 for 3. First pitch is a strike to Jonathan Lucroy. Rock, you were talking about the pace, and Augie would actually mention the pace as well of Giovanni Gallardo out on the hill. How about Randy Wolf yesterday? His pace, he was going after it.
Yep, pace and tempo, 2 different things. The tempo is, the delivery. When you start your windup or your delivery to home plate, how quickly or slowly, that windup is. How long, once you start, you get rid of the baseball. That pace is getting the ball, getting it quickly, and that's what Randy Wolf was doing, particularly early in the game yesterday. He got it and was firing right away. He wasn't taking any time between pitches and had a lot of success yesterday.
He left with a 2-0 lead and got the no decision. Brewers still got the win yesterday and are ahead here today as Lucroy strikes out now for the 4th time in this game.
He likes to get the ball and throw it, and sometimes when you get slow tempo, your mechanics kind of fall apart, and I think after that first inning the other day when he really was a little bit more upbeat, we saw his delivery fall into place. So what it does is it gets you, it keeps you on the attack, it gets you into your delivery, and it certainly makes all your pitches that much better.
And when you're working quickly, you've got a lot of confidence in what you're throwing. When a guy's walking around the mound and shaking off and uncertain of what he wants to do, that's when things slow down out there on the mound. Sometimes that can be the catcher, sometimes that's the pitcher, sometimes it's a combination of 2. When you're throwing the ball with confidence like he is today, Randy Wolf yesterday, things happen quickly.
Brandon Belt to left for a base hit, just the 3rd hit given up by Giovanni Gallardo. This one a leadoff single here in the top of the 8th.
Breaking ball that stayed up in the strike zone that time, and off the end of the bat, it was on the outside corner, and Belt able to dump it, not belt it, into left field. I had to say that once.
I know. I said it on his last out that he belted one to left.
You did? I didn't hear it.
Yeah. Can I tell you?
There's a couple of things that you said apparently today that I have not heard. Don't take it personally.
I'm trying not to at this point.
It happens at home too.
I have to go on the road with you this week, so I'm trying not to take anything personal.
That's right.
Taking our shows on the road. Brewers Live, pregame and postgame on the entire road trip, Cincinnati and Florida.
Is that right?
That's big time exclusive bonus coverage on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Wow. So
Davey and I are headed on the plane.
Fox Sports Wisconsin has like the front half of the plane this trip?
Pretty much we do.
No, it would be the back half, wouldn't it?
Actually, that would be true as well. I was trying to sell us for something there, but
right.
You quickly shot us down. Brandon Crawford now up. Oh for 1, he drew a walk back in the second. The only walk that Yo has given up in this game. Buster Posey, by the way, is having his surgery now in San Francisco to repair the ligament damage that he suffered in the left ankle on that collision last Wednesday.
Yeah, Posey made a statement a couple of days ago saying he's done for the year. Came as a surprise to the Giants.
The surgery, we're being told, is done and successful. Hopefully he can have a speedy recovery. You don't like to see anybody leave the game and that kind of an injury. It was kind of a freak thing, but hopefully he'll come back 100%. Crawford straightaway left for the first out here in the 8th inning. And our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Got Cincinnati Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. That begins a road trip for Milwaukee, 7 games in 8 days. They'll have a day off on Thursday in Florida, in Miami, before they start their series against the Marlins. Of course, Brewers Live gets you going each night starting at 5:30. So Chris Stewart, the catcher. He's been around the majors a bit, but mostly spent his time in the minor leagues. Was with the San Diego Padres organization a year ago. And of course, with the Posey injury, called into duty now.
And it's very difficult, if not impossible, to replace a guy like Posey. Not just behind home plate, but what he's been able to do with the bat. They are going to miss Buster Posey. That's an understatement. And it's kind of a shame, you have the Giants coming in. You want to see guys like Sandoval. You want to see Buster Posey, those types of players. I mean, the guys that have the big reputations. I mean, we as broadcasters, I'm sure the Brewers starting rotation didn't mind those guys out of the lineup, but
they're probably the only ones.
You want to face the best.
Sure you do.
But it certainly makes your job to get through that batting order much easier when they're not in the lineup.
And Stewart went.
I think the crowd helped the first base umpire to make that call.
Mike Everett says, yep, you went. And now Pat Burrell will pinch hit in the pitcher spot. You mentioned Sandoval. He's actually going to hit tomorrow during batting practice when the Giants go to St. Louis, and they're hoping to get him out to start his rehab assignment later in the week. He's been out for some time with a broken bone in his hand.
The hamate bone, made popular or famous with Ken Griffey Jr.'s injury many years ago.
Another strike delivered by Yo, starting to get into a late inning rhythm right here after giving up the base hit to start the frame. Burrell stays alive on the 0-2 pitch. He had a rough beginning to yesterday's game, striking out his first 2 trips up against Randy Wolf and breaking his bat after his first at bat in frustration. And nicely done to right field. Good piece of hitting for Pat Burrell as a pinch hitter. 4th hit giving up by Giovanni Gallardo. 2 aboard now here for the Giants with 2 down.
The fastball up, but it was away from Burrow, which gave him a chance to get a bat on it with the shift. Ricky Weeks playing up the middle. A lot of room between first and second. And Pat Burrow, the base hit, keeps the inning alive.
This is the first time today the Giants have had a runner in scoring position with Brandon Belt out at second base. Top of the order in Torres. LaTroy Hawkins up in the Brewer bullpen.
Throwing a lot of first pitch curveballs this inning and throwing a lot of them for strikes. Pitch count at 105. It's kind of a tough call for Ron Renicky. Should Yo be able to get out of this inning? Do you let him finish? First things first, he's got to get this out.
Well, he's been staked to a 6-run lead against San Francisco. Torres 0 for 3 so far in this contest. Had the day off yesterday, appeared as a pinch hitter back in the 8th inning. Drew a walk and scored to help tie the ball game for the Giants. Lays off that one. 20 pitches so far here in the 8th, the most out of any inning so far in the game for Giovanni Gallardo. Two balls and 2 strikes against Torres. High fly ball right field. Kotsay going back on the warning track, has room and makes the catch. And Giovanni Gallardo, 8 shutout innings here against San Francisco.
Boutique called Burl and Boyd in the River District. Fantastic, stylish shopping. Kelly Trumbull is the co-owner. Kelly, hat, please. Craig, we'll see you on Brewers Live after the game. Is it me?
How do we say this? It looks good on you. Right?
Well said.
There you go.
He can take that any way he would like.
Giovanni Gallardo, his day will be over as Josh Wilson makes his Brewer debut, batting for Giovanni Gallardo here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Actually, it's for Unieski Betancourt.
Right.
Craig Counsell in the on-deck circle for the pitcher. Well, Wilson just signed as off the waiver wire from Arizona after Wednesday's ball game. Makes his first Brewer appearance. He last played in interleague play for Arizona against the Twins on May 21st last weekend. His last hit was back on May 8th. 2 for 10 this season. A double and an RBI.
Yeah, good opportunity for Ron Renicky to get his feet wet here at Miller Park. Relatively comfortable lead, 6-0. Give him an at bat, let him play some short. Hey, Ron Renicky very pleased to have another middle infielder on the active roster. He's able to use Craig Counsell a little bit earlier in the game than he would have before Wilson showed up. You burn Counsell as a pinch hitter early in the game, 6th, 7th inning. You don't have another guy that really is a shortstop by trade. So the two infielders for the Brewers on the bench both can play short. That's very important. And he can also play the other positions.
Play the middle infield spots, third base. A luxury that Ron Renicky has not had until this point this season. He's really got his perfect complement of outfielders, bench players, infielders, the bullpen. Wilson's thrown out. 5-3. So that'll bring up Counsell, consecutive pinch hitters here for the Brewers.
Casilla just reinstated from the disabled list. That was yesterday. He missed 48 games since April 1st with a bad elbow. Casilla, a sinker slider pitcher, had 6 rehab appearances down in the minor leagues. Great day for Yovani Gallardo, looking to win his 5th straight.
8 innings of shutout baseball. 4 hits, only 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts for Yo.
Yep, and Ron Renicky, looking to the long haul. I mean, it'd be nice to have Yo go out there and maybe get his shutout, but you have to think more along the lines of what's best for Gallardo throughout the rest of the season. His pitch count over 100. Take him out. Bring in Hawkins. He can use some work. It's a tough decision for a manager.
It is very tough. Craig Counsell appeared as a pinch hitter yesterday and flew out to right. You stretch the limits, though, if you're pitching that well and it's more like a 3-0 game?
No, I mean, if it was a 3-0 game, you would probably bring in Axford. You get to save a close game.
Let him do his thing.
Let him do his thing, particularly, when your pitch count's up around 110. But if the Brewers should go on to win this ball game in regulation, Yovani Gallardo would now be tied for the league lead in wins with 7.
That is impressive. Hamels and Correa have 7 already, and Craig Counsell draws a 1-out walk. We'll bring up the top of the order in Ricky Weeks. And a year ago, Yovani Gallardo set a career high with 14 wins. So if this finishes out the way we see the script right now, he's halfway there already. And it's not even June yet.
Right.
Your script said Yo picks up his 7th win today before we started, right? That's what your script said.
That's what I was going to say in the open, but I was told not to.
Ricky Weeks, a very productive day. 3 hits, 3 for 4. His last trip up back in the 6th, a 2 RBI double. Weeks down 2 strikes. Boy, look at Casilla missing the first 48 games of the season. The Giants have really endured some big injuries, a lot of missed time by some key players. All coming off their World Series championship.
I bet they're still playing well.
Yep. Opened the day with a half-game lead in first place in the West. The Diamondbacks are the hot team right now out there. They've won 5 in a row and may be the surprise team right now to climb within that half game of first place San Francisco.
Arizona pitching pretty well so far this year. At least they have lately.
Weeks to short. Over the first, and they double up Ricky. And Casilla gets out of the 8th inning. Yovani Gallardo, our Menards player of the game, pitched an absolute gem here against the Giants. 8 strong innings, only 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts.
And there's the walks. I mean, the walks was the reason why he was able to get through 8 innings. And I would imagine it was a tough call for Ron Renick to pull Gallardo. But the pitch count a little bit in the danger area if he sent him out for the 9th.
What do we got here, Rock?
Got another phone number. I don't know if that's a good idea, but we have an Ed Cedar fan apparently. Who's not an Ed Cedar fan?
That's a good question. That is a good question. Well, Troy Hawkins comes on here in the Brewer 9th inning, his 13th appearance. And boy, LaTroy Hawkins continues to get stronger and stronger each time out.
Yep, gave up a run in 2/3 of an inning against the Washington Nationals. But you're right. I mean, you know, the 7th, 8th, 9th inning has been pretty much lockdown time for the Brewers lately since the return of LaTroy Hawkins.
And you saw Josh Wilson now taking over at shortstop. He batted pinch hit for Udinski Betancourt back in the 8th inning. So he sees his first duties in the infield for Ron Renick. Good spot to be in with a 6-run cushion. Emmanuel Burris leading off.
And the starting rotation has really did a nice job protecting the bullpen on this homestand. You look at the last 2 starts for the Brewers. Wolf yesterday, 7 1/3. Gallardo today, 8 innings. Keeping that bullpen fresh.
Off of Hawkins, McGee will just hold it. Well, hopefully LaTroy okay. Looked like it went off his leg.
Yep, first hit for the top of the order for San Francisco. Torres Burris. They keep the top of the order off the bases. It makes your job a lot easier to keep them off the board.
So one aboard for Freddie Sanchez. 1 for 3 in this game. That base hit came all the way back in the first inning. Only 4 singles the Giants have been able to muster against Giovanni Gallardo before Burris led off with that single against LaTroy Hawkins. They have had only 1 base runner in scoring position. He was stranded at second. That was Brandon Belt. And another base hit. So the first 2 reach now for San Francisco. Trying to make some noise, down 6.
And Freddie Sanchez, after a strikeout, a rare strikeout at that, able to get a good piece of a hanging curveball from Hawkins, and the first 2 reach for San Francisco. First time that's happened today.
Aubrey Huff, the first baseman. Had a base hit his last time up in the 7th inning. First pitch a strike from LaTroy Hawkins. We mentioned that Brandon Belt started the season opener at first. Huff was out in the outfield. This one fouled back. Giants began the day with the fewest runs scored in the National League with just 177. The next fewest, the Pirates, at 189. They have been shut out so far here today.
And still they're in first place in their division because of their great pitching. You don't need many runs to win when you have a pitching staff and a bullpen like the Giants.
Tim Lincecum. Brewers tagged him on Friday, but he was able to hold it together in time for his team to get him the lead and wound up getting the win. Huff held up.
Cut fastball down and in and pretty close, but Huff able to hold up.
Adrian Johnson, the third base umpire, called into duty today with Mark Wegner injuring a calf muscle late in the game yesterday. Two to Huff. It's high, ball 3. And John Axford forced to get up in that bullpen. Not something Ron Renneke was envisioning when this inning began. 6-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, still far from a save situation, but I don't think Ron Renneke is going to mess around too much.
Huff to Weeks. Going to try to turn 2. Wilson. The relay is good. And the Brewers get 2 outs with the runner moving down to third base and Emmanuel Burris. That's just what they needed.
A 3-2 pitch. Hawkins doing a good job getting it down in the strike zone. That low strike has been called all day by Mike Winters, so Huff forced to go after it, and an easy double play. It didn't look like Huff was getting down the line all that great.
And the fans come to their feet here at Miller Park. Nate Scherholz with 2 down and a runner at third. And this is what has impressed me as this homestand has gone on. Fans have really done their part. They've been standing quite a bit. In fact, the other night they were standing early.
They've done a big part in the success of the Brewers here at home.
Brewers trying to close out the homestand with an 8-1 record. They are 1 out away from doing that. Fly ball. Casey McGee giving chase, but it's going to end up behind the Giant dugout. Milwaukee trying to win their 21st home game. And Brewer pitching, vying for their 7th shutout, which would be tied for tops in the league.
They have tied with the Phillies and the Braves.
Again, Scherholz fouls one away, but now he's down to his final strike against LaTroy Hawkins. The Brewers a strike away from getting to 5 games over 500. They have not been that far over 500 since the 2009 season. Here's Hawkins 1-2. Just missing inside. They'll try it again. Here's the 2-2. And it's high. Scherholz hanging tough. Draws that count full as Giovanni Gallardo watches from the dugout. St. Louis already an early lead on Colorado, 4-1 in the 6th inning out in Denver. Here's the 3-2. Fly ball into the gap. Morgan on the run and has it. And the Brewers win it 6-0. Giovanni Gallardo picks up his 7th win of the season. A brilliantly pitched ball game by Giovanni Gallardo. 8 shutout innings for him. And we hope to catch up with him and get inside that Brewer clubhouse, because Brewers Live is on the way. Our post-game report. We'll hear from Ron Renicki. And also our on-field instructional and get you set for the next big road trip the Brewers will take starting in Cincinnati.